an Air Glue Media podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Three Quarters to Play. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. A lot of finagled things going on here, so I'm a little distracted. The way my setup is here, anyway. So welcome to episode 13. I can't believe I've made it to 13 episodes. This episode is actually an episode I've been thinking since the last episode, and the reason why I was thinking since the last episode, I knew between the last episode and this episode that everyone and their brother was going to buy the 40th Pac-Man cab, and I was not. So I needed something to come up with. So I decided I'd concentrate on the cocktail cabs, which is something that I've been intrigued by, and I was almost going to pull the trigger and get one, but I decided to hold off on that. And, well, we'll get into that in a little bit. So today's episode is really not really planned. It's kind of, and there's actually more news in this than I thought there was going to be for this episode, because I wasn't planning on any of this, to be honest. I thought it was just like all this news. I was just gonna talk about what I thought about the cocktail cabs and, what I think of them. Full disclosure, I do not have one. I almost got one, but I didn't get one. Also, I should mention, next episode will be about the 40th anniversary Pac-Man cab, because I did go out and buy one because, well, like you, I can't help myself. But before we do that, I just wanted to mention some EGM stuff. As you can see, there's our Discord channel. When you're looking, if you listen to the audio, you can't, but there'll be a link in the description of the podcast episode. But if you come over to our this right here, you can see our EGM Discord right here, and there is a channel, Three Quarters to Play, where I talk about this Arcade1Up stuff and everything else. And of course, we got other modern games, retro games, all sorts of things. Of course, we got our regular Air Glue Media chats, and then we got, music room. We got everything under there. I mean, everything and anything is discussed there. Of course, the meme channel, which is a very popular one. Everybody goes there and has a lot of fun. So I will leave a link in the description for those of you that are listening to the podcast. And if you're on YouTube, well, I'll leave obviously a link in the description as well. But you can see here that this is active, and you see I'm also a member of New Rockstars, and there's a few other dead channels that I got there. So in any case, we will move on. Let me get out of that. And the other thing I want to mention with the YouTube channel is we're going to have more content coming that way. One of the things when I created the EGM, and the reason I put media in here, is because I wanted to get into video stuff as well as, obviously podcasting, but various things like that. So look for that. And also, I should mention that the EGM roundtable, which is what we do, we get together, the guys and gals from, we haven't had the gals on yet, from EGM to come on and just shoot the shit and just kind of talk about things and have a good time and a laugh. And, it's a lot of fun. We stream that. Usually it's on Friday nights. We took 1 week off. We will be doing again this Friday. So check that out. But if you can't check that out, we will be doing a audio version of the podcast or show, which you'll be able to get probably by the end of this week, which today is 5/18, and that should be available by the end of the week of this week. So look for that. There'll be a lot more content coming on our YouTube page, so look for that. There'll be some reviews I want to do, a lot of other things. I know Albert, even over at our Cantina Cast page, our YouTube channel over there, he's going to do an unboxing. We're trying to incorporate different kind of avenues of media, which is why I put media into Air Glue Media. That's how it all came about. But anyway, enough of that. We don't really care about that, right? So let's get into. We have some news with Arcade1Up. Let me do this real quick. Let me just get my screen share here. Right there. Yes, I got the right one. There we go. So apparently they sold 1 million units. Arcade1Up, as you can see here, but this was in Ford's. 1 million Arcade1Up replica sold, which is an amazing feat. It's interesting because it's only been almost 2 years, or it's been like a year and a half or a year and 8 months. I don't know. The rapid growth that's going with this company is kind of astonishing. It's found its niche, and it's doing that, and it's pretty cool. So what else do we got? So, and this is from P Dubs. He pointed this out. And matter of fact, while I'm over here, this is what we're going to talk about in a second. But I'm going to go over here to the cabinets because there's something that was mentioned here. So we got the Star Wars limited edition, the seated version, not the one I have right here. And P Dubs pointed this out on the Walmart cabinet there, the press release that they have, or the markup stuff, whatever the stuff you click on, which shows the pictures and everything. And as you can see here, we have a LED in the back, which is funny because this is something I was thinking about doing for a little while because I don't know if you can see it. You probably can see it. I'm sorry if my audio is a little wonky and I hit the mic, but here we go. There we go. But the Star Wars arcade that I have is actually set out further than the other ones. It's not against the wall. So I've been thinking, I just haven't got around to it, is I want to add the LED to the back. I wasn't thinking blue, actually, but blue is a good color. I wasn't thinking that at all. I was just thinking, oh, I'll get one of those strips and put it there and kind of do that. So it's cool to see that they did this. Arcade1Up. It's a nice little touch. Adds a little bit of flavor to this one compared to the other versions. So maybe they'll sell a kit you can buy on their store. You can just purchase it and plug and play. Maybe they'll do that. I don't know. But this is an easy mod that I could do. But P Dubs found this, and I just wanted to give him the credit for that. So this is kind of as I mentioned it last time when I talked. I don't know if it was last episode or the one before, and I even mentioned that it looked like we had the Empire Strikes Back right here on the marquee, but that seems to be, as he pointed out, an early mock-up, and that's not what's going to happen. So we don't have to worry about that. So that's pretty cool. So the other thing I want to get to, and this credit to my buddy Ralph, Retro Ralph. I know I ramble about Retro Ralph quite a bit in console kits because, well, they're my buddies. I think they're awesome, and I'm going to give them credit for this one. They did the Pac-Man, the 40th. Now, I'm not going to give a review because I got to give my review, and I'll give you my thoughts and opinions next week, next episode, or whenever I get to do it. Is Ralph found out that there's an audio issue with this, and again, it is too loud. So I laughed. I made a joke on Twitter. I can't forget. I think it was the console kits maybe, because he did a review, and I thought it was pretty good. Both of them did a very, very good review. So and Ralph is kind of the reason why I ended up buying it, because I liked his review, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Why not do it? It's a pretty decent price or whatever. So in any case, the audio is loud, even when you set it to the 1 or the 1. So Ralph came up with a solution. I suggest you go check Retro Ralph. He's got a few solutions. I think he posted it in one of the fan pages on Facebook, so you should check that out. I just laughed. My joke was, well, I'm glad Arcade1Up continued the tradition of leaving the Pac-Man cabinet at super loud, which the Generation 1, if you have it, it's pretty darn loud. And I also have a special shout out to Eric Williams. Now, the Pac-Man 40 seems to have some issues, and I'm going to kind of address some of them right here. But this one made me laugh because, and I can't really show it. I wish I could, but I can't at this moment. So someone, I guess, got the 40th anniversary Pac-Man, and their marquee was upside down. Now, if you've been following me or if you see me in the fan pages, I don't post a lot, but I did in the early days. I had a Pac-Man Gen 1, and it came with an upside down marquee. And I had it for like 6, 7, 8 months before I got a light up marquee from Game Factory, I believe it was. And I like that marquee. And so I upgraded it finally. But in all fairness, Arcade1Up did send me the replacement, the correct one. But I'd posted a picture on the fan page, and that was like a year ago of whatever it was. October of 28. No, it was November of 2018, because that's when the cabinet came out, right? Black Friday or whatever, and I got it a few weeks after that. So I posted this then. So I'm cruising through the thing, and I see this guy's got an upside-down marquee, and I was about to chime in, but Eric Williams over at the fan page posted a picture of mine and says, would go well with, and then, of course, I think it was Detroit Love's Gallagher machine, because Detroit Love had an upside-down Gallagher marquee. So I thought that was funny. That made me laugh. So I just wanted to give a special shout out to Eric Williams for doing that. It made me laugh. It made my day. But this, and I'm hoping I don't get a upside down marquee again, because that would bum me out really bad. Although it'd make me laugh too, because you got to have it both there. You got to laugh at the stupid things, and you got to go with it, whatever. But so these issues, I'm having a little bit of I guess I have a problem here with Arcade1Up. they have these issues that they've corrected a lot. So don't get me wrong. They've done a lot. They've bent over backwards. Like I said at the top of the show, it's been like a year and 9 months, 8 months that they've been in existence, and they've gone above and beyond trying to make things right and improve on the quality, and they have. However, this gets me a little concerned when we're in generation, 3, 4, or whatever it is, which is hard to believe when you think about a year and a half, basically of existence, and here we are in another generation. This seems to be an issue that I don't think this should be happening. The audio issue shouldn't be happening, especially the upside down marquees. Silly little things like that shouldn't be happening. And I know they're trying to correct this or whatever. And I don't know. I'm willing to say, and they mentioned this on the 1UP Weekly last night, that it's probably because of the situation with the pandemic and everything happening, that maybe they rushed these, and the quality control due to, not having certain people in the factories, maybe because the numbers reduced or whatever, these things were missed when they went out at some point. But I feel like this is something that shouldn't happen at this point in Arcade1Up, and I'm sure they agree with me on this as well, and they'll fix it. I believe that, and they will make good on it. But still, and this makes me, and this is part of my other beef is, and I know they won't do this, because obviously most of the parts are over in China and all that. But I wish they would make these things over here. Of course, I wish that for a lot of things. But they're probably not going to do that. But I think if they had made these things over here, you wouldn't have really delays. You'd have more control over the quality and all those things. So it would be nice for that. I think that's Fantasyland. I don't think that'll happen. Like I said, people would complain the prices are already high, but I would argue they're already kind of high. So what are we going to pay, an extra $50 or $100? Okay, so be it. As long as it's here, we don't get delays and the quality's better. I don't see a problem with that. But that's just me. You probably disagree with me. But is there a quality control solution? And this happened with my buddy Retro Ralph again on the 1UP Weekly. They had a fantastic show last night, and they made a good point here. Well, Ralph kind of suggested that this had been proposed on that they would have these. There was a proposal, I guess, in the works where they'd send out cabs to community members to review it and to kind of like a prelim, not a review, but like to say, here's the cab we're thinking, test it out. What do you think? What do you like? What do you not like? Give us some feedback and, let us know. I am in favor of that. Let me just tell you, I think it's a perfect thing. If they could figure out how to do that, they should do that. I recommend Retro Ralph, obviously Console Kits, Glenn's Retro Show, definitely Glenn because of what he does, P-Dubs, Cool Toy, Detroit Love, and there's probably a few others that I'm not mentioning. Unqualified Critics, another channel I like. And I would, if they wanted to have maybe some input from I don't know, maybe a nostalgic gaming addictive perspective from a guy that just buys them and plays them and doesn't really mod them and kind of is trying to live out that arcade feel that I had when a kid. If they want that point of view or perspective, please let me know, because that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this show. I'm trying to give the perspective of the guy that played these games in the arcade, and then now he's able to make his own arcade in his basement and have fulfilled that fantasy and kind of that perspective on it. So maybe they can do that. I hope they do that. I think they're pretty good with their community relations, better than anyone in the business right now, although At Games is pretty good at it as well. More recently, they've gotten even better. So, and II Arcade, they're getting there. I'm pulling for them, but, come on, guys. So in any case, I think that's a great idea, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Maybe if someone in Arcade1Up is listening to this, maybe they'll kind of really scratch their heads, especially if they were listening to Retro Ralph's show last night, the 1UP Weekly. Maybe they'll go through with that, and that'll be a great thing. All right, so let's get on to the main topic here, and let me get over to, they call them the head-to-head cabinets, but I don't call them the head-to-head cabinets. I call them the cocktail cabinets, because that's what they were when I was growing up, and as I'm sure a lot of you that listen to the show, these were the same thing. Now, I will say this. They are cool. They look cool. I do not have one. I almost got one. I like the reviews I've seen. I know Cool Toys just did a Street Fighter 2 review on it, and he modded it, and it looked really good. I think it was Unqualified Critics who did the Pac-Man Black series, and I think he's the one with the feet that you can buy on Amazon that are really cool, which made me even, although I thought, now correct me if I'm wrong, way back at CES when they debuted these in 2019, I thought there were risers that went with this. Now, I could be completely wrong. I thought there was. Maybe I'm losing my mind. I thought they were on risers at that point, but maybe someone can point out and say, "No, Mike, you're an idiot. That was not a thing." But in any case, I think it was unqualified critics. He did the feet, these feet, and it set up at a perfect height. It was great. So I'll give him credit for that. And he has the one that I was thinking of getting, which is the Pac-Man Black Series one. But I held off. I was like, although the Pac-Man, the regular one, looks pretty darn good as well. Like the yellow, I like that. It pops. And it looks more authentic. It looks like the real deal. So I was going to do it, but I was like, all right, I'm going to hold off because my big problem right now is, well, space isn't a problem because I just got a dumpster over the weekend to throw a lot of stuff in the house out, and one of them was a coffee table that I had in front of the TV over here, and in my mind, since these got introduced, I was like, I'm gonna get a cocktail cabinet and put it there as the table. So I've held off on that. Now I was hoping at this CES that they would do another version of that, like they'd come out with different games, and what maybe make some improvements on these. I don't know what they would improve. Maybe make it up higher or something. Who knows? They got the Black Series. I like that they did 2 different versions of that, which was cool. So I've been waiting, but I stopped. I stopped myself. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'll hold off a little bit while because I know CES was coming up. This is last year. I'm going back, so I'm like, I'm just going to hold off on it because I got, and I was going to get Pac-Man, but like I said, I already have the Pac-Man Countercade. Or bar top, which is what I call it, and of course I got the Gen 1, and now I got the 40th anniversary Pac-Man coming. So, do I really want another Pac-Man? This is probably my last Pac-Man. It should be, absolutely should be. I don't need another Pac-Man. So I'm wondering if Arcade1Up is beating a dead horse with Pac-Man. Now, if they could move into Miss Pac-Man, that would be great. So I was thinking, I'm like, well, what could they do going forward with the cocktail cabinets? I mean, not cocktail, yeah, the cocktail tables. Are they going to do them again? Because I'm not sure if there's a big market for it. I'm not sure a lot of people, like a lot of YouTubers, didn't kind of jump on them. I'm not sure a lot of other people did. So I don't know. I mean, they sold 1 million units, right? So obviously people are buying them and all the other stuff, right? So maybe I'm wrong there, but I don't know. Maybe did they put these out and then they said, all right, we had lukewarm response, so we're gonna walk that back a little bit, and maybe they're not gonna offer that next because they're gonna work on other things now. So I don't know. It got me to thinking. Like prior to getting on here, I was trying to think. When I was a kid, I remember playing these cocktail cabinets. I remember there was one at Pizza Hut, which was up the street here, where I'm from. And then there was one, I think there was, and of course, Retro Ralph mentioned that the Asia Grill, the Chinese restaurant, had one in the old days. And then there was a few. I played them. I just couldn't remember what games I played. Probably was Pac-Man, if I had to guess, and Donkey Kong. So I can't remember for the life of me because I always played more of the stand-up, obviously, and stuff. So I didn't really play these all that much. But what do you guys think? What would they make going forward for these? I could think of like Space Invaders, Centipede, maybe, they made a Street Fighter 2 version. Maybe they'll make a Mortal Kombat one, which would be very interesting and crazy. I don't know. I guess they got potential and they have options and stuff. I just don't know where they would go with these. But then when you think about it, this is why I'm challenging them with their approach with this is in the thinking of like, all right, we did these because cocktail cabinets were a thing back in the day and people liked them. And they put them out there. And then like you got a customer like me, the regular guy, who's like, all right, I got room for one. I'm going to buy one. Like this is why these are going to sell. The stand-up upright ones are going to sell all the time. And even the sitting down one, the Star Wars one, it's genius because you could just slide that bench right in and it's not a big deal. You could probably you can move it. You could just take it up and put it somewhere else. So it's not a bad thing. These you're kind of fixated and you can't really move them around as much. Well, I mean, granted, they're better than an actual cocktail table, right? So in any case, so that's all I got really for this episode. What would you like to see them do for a cab? Would you like to see them? What could they do for you? What would you want them to do? Am I out of my mind thinking that maybe they're not going to do these anymore? They're going to be discontinued. Of course, in a few weeks when we, I imagine in a few weeks they're going to announce more things because E3 is not around. But I imagine by the time we get to July, there'll be more announcements. Maybe there'll be some more surprises. Obviously, they did say that at CES. Maybe we'll get a new cocktail table cabinet. I hope we do because I really do have a spot for for that. That'll probably be my only purchase of one of these, which is sad. But here I am. Of course, I said I wasn't going to get the Pac-Man 40th, yet I got it anyway. So, I might have to be like Retro Ralph and get my own storage in a few years. Who knows? But anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me and indulging in my stupidity here. Let me know what you guys think. And again, check us out at EGM for Discord and, of course, here at YouTube. So thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next time.